Well, hello, hello, hello. It's Dee does Posh, the Posh show with Cerys Nelmes. Yes, I can't keep that voice up for very much longer. You know, it's not going to be possible. I've had such a shit shizer day. Yes, I couldn't be bothered putting my wig on because it wouldn't sit. But anyway, let's put some happiness and sunshine and sparkle dust on Dee's mood tonight. Let's bring in the wonderful Cerys Nelmes.
I was thinking, out of the two of us, I'm the most depressing one. You're the spark. You're the sparkle. I'm like the dark cloud. Hello.
Not tonight, mate. Mate, you need to be you need to be the dust. You know what happened? I'll tell you what happened, right? I was supposed to be going a run, right? I've been doing like 15k, 16k a day, right? And I have hammered it, and but I've been having it in my mind. It's just walking. Now that's because you were formerly a lazy fat that sat on the couch. So walking is going to be exhausting. You know what I mean? It's going to hurt your feet. But I was like, I was actually walking in last night, like holding on to the couches. I was trying to sit down, went for 2 baths, still went out for a 5k this morning because I refused to not do it. And then it got to tonight and I just burst out crying. My cousin's like, listen, you can't do it. You're too tired. Your feet are in bits. You need a rest night. And I actually lay in the bath and cried.
Right. So how much are you doing a day?
Between a 11k and 16 walking.
Any day? Any rest days?
Not yet. This is the first rest I've had tonight.
Well, but you haven't rested. It's not a rest day, is it? Because you've already been out today.
Yes.
So yeah, just let your body tell you what it needs. Just every now and then. I know what it does. It because I didn't do my exercise. I've been trying to. Obviously, we've talked about this before. Trying to do exercises every day, and I didn't do it today. And then throughout, because I have to do mine in the morning, otherwise I haven't got the motivation to do it at any other point throughout the day. And then, of course, I missed that time slot, and then I just beat myself up about it for the rest of the day, and that's not a good thing.
Hi, Tracy. I think a lot of what to do with it with me, Cerys, is that it is helping my mental health, and I haven't found anything that's so effective. And you know that way, I know my body's not in the place for that amount of exercise, but my mind needs it. So I'm trying to get the balance, you know. And tonight I just felt defeated, and I think because I've had 6 months, not six, sorry, 6 stones in less than. I mean, what's this, May? So 5 months, I've lost 6 stones, and now I know I'm running at the end, and I know I can't run at the end, but I'm now not fat, but I'm not skinny, and that's even more annoying, which is funny.
Well, no, because you're in that in between bit where you know you've lost it, and then you've got to keep the motivation going, etc. And now, like I said, you've got to listen to your body. You've got to have a rest day every now and again. That doesn't mean sit down and eat a fucking whole cake, does it? It just means maybe that day you don't do the walk. Maybe you just do some sit-ups or whatever, burpees. But like today, look, I missed it, and then I can't motivate myself the rest of the day. And then I happened upon Gokwan doing a DJ set on Facebook. So then danced around the living room, and within 40 minutes, I'd done my equivalent exercise for the day. So as much as I didn't do it this morning,
that's big sister Michelle Brennan.
Hi, Michelle. Yeah, so as much as I didn't do it, I then just fucked around in the living room about 2 hours ago. Danced around the living room and did my exercise. So I think you got to vary it as well, haven't you? That's the thing for me.
Definitely. I think I've seen so much benefit from it, but it was dead funny. But I've been doing my Snapchat, but one of my friends on Snapchat, one of my guy friends, right? He put up, right, I've been like hammering it and all that, and obviously you're always competitive, right? And he put up nice wee something like easy sweat run sort of thing, right? And it was like almost the distance of what I'd done in like an hour and a half, and he spanked it in 23 minutes, and I'm thinking I could punch your wee face in right now.
You know, I started that couch to 5k last October, a year ago, in October last year, and they convinced us to do park run. And have you ever done a park run? I don't think I passed the start line before people were finishing. And I'm like, and the best thing, what I said I liked about it the best was they're so like, if anybody's never been to a park run, they're really they got people clapping and two people cheering and people trying to motivate you and stuff to go round, and then you realise as the beginning lot start to finish, nobody gives a fuck about the guys at the end anymore. So you're walking past, you're you're jogging past everybody then with their, and they got their backs to you and they don't give a fuck anymore, and then you're like, well, maybe
Well, see, years ago, I get really fit just before I met my partner I was with for 12 years and made me fat, and that's how I discovered I was allergic to relationships. You know, it was trial and error, but then I thought, every time you're in a relationship, you're fat. Every time you're single, you might be a wee bit sex-starved, but you're thin. There's something in that, do you know?
Yeah, no, because I'm a fat cunt. And I haven't been in a relationship for 10 years.
I know, that's my theory. That's me saving my heart. Good evening, Tim. How are you, darling? You know what I mean? He'll be laughing.
I know what you say. That's what I say. I always say that. What I need is a really good breakup so I can lose some weight. But I did an 8-mile walk earlier on now on the couch. Fucking like, there we go. You see, this is the thing. I did this charity walk once we walked from London to Portsmouth. So we did 25 miles a day. Hi, Christine. And that was horrific. So 25 miles a day, and then we did a gig every night for 4 nights. Yeah.
That's my new friend.
Oh, look, I lost 5 stone, but since my brother passed at 39, put it back on. Well, you know, time, place, this is what happens. And like you said, you can only, like, if you're going out with blisters, you're getting blisters on top of your blisters. That ain't gonna help. That's just gonna make it even worse in the long run. So stay in, do something indoors, or go to the beach where everybody else is going. Come down to Dorset. Dorset was rammed today, so
I know I've seen people booking me. It's mad.
I just can't.
I'll pencil you in. I'm not taking deposits. That's money that I need to then give back. You know, I'm not doing that, and I couldn't be that arsehole that went, well, you've gave me your deposit, tough, you'll need to wait to next year. I had to postpone enough gigs in that theory, so I'm not making new ones on that. So I was just like, guys, man, I think you're smoking crack a wee bit. You need to calm down.
Yeah, I can't see anything happening. I really can't, and it's like banging my head against a brick wall. And the people that are, oh, thanks. This look, it's those of you that follow Mrs. Hinch, it's the cleaning product, Scrub Daddy. He's just sits in the kitchen, but obviously it looks like scrubber.
I don't look at it. Doesn't look as innocent when I do it. You know what I mean? Because I don't have anything there.
Yes, we aren't doing well, are we, Dee? So we're trying to power on through this. Shit day today. That's all right.
Very shit day, man. Very shit day, man. I was just like, I did cry about 6 times today. I went for 2 baths, but you know, I know I can't be amazing every day. You can't be in that mind space. It's obviously, see, I used to do law of attraction, and I was a mentor and a life coach. And I hated the people I worked with that made their life look so perfect. And like, if you do this and you do this, you'll always be happy. No, you fucking won't. You'll have to fight some days to keep on top. And I know that's been one of those days because my mind wanted it, but my body couldn't do it. And I was raging.
Yeah, I said this, like, I bought some weighing scales. Now, I don't normally have scales in the house. And we bought some last week because obviously Mum's been here for 62 days. And she's still... And she has her slimming meeting.
You've not told you've not told my fans why that 62 days is so hang. Cerys isn't only staying with her, well, her mum isn't only staying with Cerys. Cerys is also having to share her bed with her mother.
Yeah. So 62 days of sharing a bed with somebody that I definitely don't want to have sex with. A little bit weird. She's maybe by a summer weight duvet because we were getting too hot and sweaty, which sounds disgusting, but mine was menopause related. Yeah, so mum's here and she has her slimming. Thank you. It's just washing out pink. She's having her slimming world meetings, and I was like, well, how are you You're not weighing in or anything? You haven't got any scales? And she went, oh, but they're just leaving me as the same. And I was like, we're eating like shit, so we've got to get some scales so we can get back on it. So we weighed ourselves. I'm 14 stone, Mum's 15 stone. That kind of gave us a little bit of a rocket up the arse last week. So I think I've lost 4 pounds this week.
Well, well done, darling. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm actually going from an 18 to a 16, and I haven't been a 16 since my 18-year-old was 10.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go.
So
This is it, isn't it? This is the thing what we're talking about. I've never been skinny. Not even skinny. I'd like to be a size
fit. Never been fit. What your ideal fit looks? I think that's a better way to look at it from.
Yes. I've never, like, I know I'm getting healthier and stuff like that, but I just wonder. But then, do you know what would fuck me off then? Is that because nobody chats me up now when I'm a fat cunt, right? If I lost weight and then people started chatting me up, I'd be like, so what was wrong with me when I was bigger? And
But see, like, see, when I was really heavy before I went into a relationship that was quite manipulative and controlling, I was the centre of attention. That's most of my mates are guys, right? I would walk into a building and I would just own the shit out of it. You know what I mean? And I was confident, and I could take I was like the probably a bit of a player, if I'm honest, and I could take the most handsome guy in the room, and I could bring him to, and I could destroy him, and not in a sexual way, but he would presume that I would fancy him, you know what I mean? And I would say, you know, I like mine's a rough edge, blah blah blah, and I would just give him the character. I would hold the room, but then I was a dancer as well. I told you that. I did dancing when I was younger and all the big things, and I was used to being in the limelight, let's just say. And he told me that it was because guys could sense that I was easy. So for a lot of years, I would hide in the corner and eat sausage rolls and pizza, and I wouldn't dance, and I would feel totally violated. And when I split up with him, I was very reckless, and I brought a lot of stuff on myself that I shouldn't have. And it just all caved in. So now I'm actually, even though I'm a lot thinner, I'm actually having to find that fat confidence that I had before I met him. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, because it's the same with when you're on stage when you're on stage performing. Like, I find that if you're an all right looking woman, a little bit on the heavy side, then women don't mind you. If you're a slim woman or pretty, they fucking hate you. Yeah.
Or fucking very funny.
Yeah. They hate you. So I think you can get away with a lot more when you're bigger, because you can chat up their boyfriend and they're not threatened. Yet when you lose a bit of weight and you sort of say something a little bit saucy to their boyfriend, then you've got them all offside. So that's the thing as well. Like, I don't ever want to be in a position where people feel, and I felt that actually, because I've been single for such a long time. I'm not thank you. I'm not a good looking person. I've got really good looking friends. They got really good looking boyfriends. No. Let's not polish a turd.
Okay, let's go.
I obviously look like a lesbian. But I've always been in a situation where people have felt threatened by me, and I go out of my way to go, please don't think I want to fuck your boyfriend or husband, because I really find him unattractive and annoying. I don't obviously say that, but I go out of my way not to be left on my own with somebody else's husband or boyfriend. Sorry, that's my.
The only friend I've got like that's in a relationship is my mate Gok. Gok is his nickname, but his real name's Chris, and he's an actor and a musician. And I openly cuddle him, and I send kisses at the end of his texts. But I'm also extremely friendly with these misses. But I think I give off that vibe because I think there's nothing more disgusting. I'm not saying it's not happened to me unaware. I wasn't a very, very virtuous young adult. I was fucking wild. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying unbeknown that I've not been with someone's man, because that's possible. However, it's not something I would do intentionally, and nor do I think there's any excuse for it, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, well, see, I have done that. I have that back in the day. But it was never. Now I don't know how to explain it. It was never. I didn't want them. I didn't want them to split up. I didn't go out. I would never tell the woman, etc. It was never. I think it was just easy for me because I didn't want to be in the full relationship.
When I split up my ex Scott, I will first admit this. The 3 guys that I got involved with, each one of them, although I never really took it anywhere, one I did, each one I got involved with was attached. And I think that was a subconscious way of not getting involved.
Yes.
Which in turn always makes me a bad person. Both beautiful ladies. Thank you, Angie.
I never went in. Go on.
I actually do think I know this is going to sound dead vain, right? But when chips are really down, although obviously my hair's a mess, I actually have no problem with my face. I think I'm quite attractive. However, my body's always destroyed me. But I do think when with women, what you say about on the stage, I think it's like my mate said, one of my comedian friends in Scotland said, Dee, you just walked on the circuit, man. I'm fucking hearing what guys are not used to that, fair women. Do you know what I mean? So that's the way I've been my whole life. People would walk up to me in a room and they would say, you don't like me, don't you? And usually in a social setting, people will go, oh, well, it's not, I don't really know. And they would do all that. And I would go, no, I don't.
No, I don't. Fuck off.
I actually don't. So could you get out my breathing space? Or give yourself a chance. But what I know about you and what you've done towards me, no, I don't like you. So it's very hard to, and I find it very hard to date, obviously, because guys, I don't butter them up. I don't pine them. I don't sit on the edge of their phone when they're out with their friends. I want them to get out with their friends, and guys don't seem to think that's why do you want me to get out with my friends? Well, I'm sure that's why you split up your last girlfriend. You know, so that's what.
My favourite story. Hang on. I was 7.5 stone all my life. I was 40 now. I put on weight and 10 stone. So I will not be able to put on weight. No one took. Yeah, true. Yeah, it is.
We talk about it, I've got a friend, as I was saying, Gawk, the guy I was talking about. He's the same. He can't put on weight. It's a terrible. See, watching sometimes when he's training, he can get really ripped. But see him trying to put on weight is actually soul destroying. Watching him trying to have that battle. So yeah, I too totally get.
Yeah, that's it. I haven't got any experience of that. I haven't got any friends that are like that, but I can understand that's just as hard because people just like, oh, look at you, you skinny bitch. I was engaged once to this lad. And we're going back to relationships and situations. And I started having an affair with his brother-in-law, so his sister's husband. Now I didn't. Well, this was the thing. I never slept with one after the other. If you know what I mean. I stopped sleeping with my fiance once the affair started with the other guy. And then I found out I was pregnant. And I was like, so I already had Callum. The other guy had 4 kids. So I was like, if it's his, we've got 6 kids between us and no kid between us, if you know what I mean. And then if it was the other guys, he was violent, so I obviously couldn't. So the guy I was having an affair with came to have an abortion.
We keep having these conversations like, how are we going to make money and stuff like that, right? And then you just drop these wee bombs, and I'm thinking, why the fuck are you not writing your book?
I know.
They'll be going through their book like this. Fucking hell, Cerys.
Yeah. So I had to have an abortion. So the guy that I was having an affair with had to come with me, and then the nurse. It was the most. Do you know what? I will say this now, because I don't mind talking about the fact that I had an abortion. It was. Yeah. I never thought I would have had one before that point, and then I'm like, I'm in this situation. I'm literally on my own. He's not going to leave his wife. I was already on my own with Callum for 5 years. I can't bring another person into this situation. I don't want that for another child.
See before, I would have judged that. But I went through a similar experience, but it was medical and it was emotional and it was mental. I was not mentally stable. My youngest was very, very poorly as a baby, didn't sleep. It was very instant. I think he was only about 2 months old and I was pregnant again. And I just could not see it. I couldn't. But do you know what? I do still to this day regret it. And someone that was in a similar situation at one point, I said, listen, it seems like a safe answer, but sometimes even adoption's better because at least you know they're out there having a life. I don't know. Don't ever judge anybody that's been through it. Let them judge their own situation because it's a horrible situation to be in.
Yeah, this is the thing. I was like, everybody has got their own situation, what they can deal with and what they can't. So, quite a long story short, I went to have this abortion, and the guy came with me, and I swear on my life, right now, the nurse on the ward was the most disapproving of abortions. I could not believe the way she was speaking to all of us. There was just a pure disgust with why we were there, what we were doing, just making judgments on us, to the point where it got to the state. I think there was quite a young girl in there, and I think she was in tears because this woman was just going on at her. And I was like, I think you're working in the wrong fucking job, mate. Like, if you want to be in the medical profession, this side of it isn't for you. We don't need this. We've already made difficult decisions to get here, and now we've got to face you.
Exactly. I didn't have that experience. The people that they were with me were absolutely lovely, to the point it made me feel even more guilty. But and on this, in all jobs, really does my fucking nut in. And even on this, I think it's an own personal decision. Yeah. Exactly. I think in a lot of things, I used to be very judgmental. I was really bad, considering how recklessly I'd lived. I had these like learned morals, you know, that you didn't do, and I was very stickler until I was in that situation. And that's what annoys me about Facebook, because I've got a wee shout out to my wee pal Amanda, who's receiving some help and doing well, but she's an online sort of person, and people say to her, go and die, your baby's ugly, you know, your baby's going to get taken off you. And they do all these things because they don't approve with how she lives. However, they tune into her. And I'm talking about, I'm a comedian, I do lives, and this is my biggest platform. And at very peak, 800 to 900 can be tuned in at the one time. This girl has between 1k and 2k tuned in between, but it's people and the abuse and the things, people that are. And I'm just thinking, some of them are that young. I'm thinking, where is your mother in allowing you to say such vile? And that's where I think judgment. Do not judge somebody. Do not judge somebody that's up in court for something that you know nothing about, even if it's a horrific crime, because you're not involved. Yeah. You don't know the situation. Do you know? And that really does rile me. And I think it's annoyed me through this lockdown as well, because I know this has been dark. But most of my messages in my inbox, but being aware, most of the messages in my inbox, I actually started walking all the time, because the level of messages of people just not coping was actually weighing on my chest. I felt it heavy, and I had to seek help from my usual Chrissy's house and pass them over. That's what we're trained for, get the people. So I do think judgment, do what you have to do, have your opinion, but opinions can be heard without you going, well, you're disgusting, so I can't talk to you because I don't live with that. So, you know, and I think that's
going back to what you just touched on there. That's the thing with me. Look, a lot of people, and even people I've met through comedy, people I wasn't necessarily really good friends with at school or whatever, they always reach out when they know that I'm having a bad time, because some people notice. I have a message from somebody going, everything all right? You haven't been on Facebook today, because people know that I'm on there kind of a lot. And they reach out, and it's really lovely. And then people expect me to do it back, and I'm not strong enough to carry other people's shit as well as my own. So as much as I love, and this is what makes me feel guilty. Yeah. Like, some people reach out, and I'm like, that's really nice, but you're making me feel really guilty now, because I can't do the same, because I can't carry other people's stuff as well as my own.
But you know what? I've got a friend like that. My friend openly said, right, I can't remember what it is. She also says when she's going on holiday, and she's dead brutal with it, I think it's hilarious, right? She goes, someone dies, someone goes to jail, do you know what? If I'm in Barbados, I can't do nothing. So let me know they've died when I come home. You know what I mean? So she's one of those people. And she said that in lockdown, I'll be looking after my own mental health. You can post as many things on Facebook and do what you like, and you can call me a heartless bastard, but I'm too busy looking after me. Sorry. In fact, not sorry. That's what she wrote. At the beginning of the lockdown, we'd barely get our arses in and locked doors, and she's giving it out. By the way, I'm there for no cunt.
Yeah.
Nobody.
So this is the situation, isn't it? Going forward, it's still going to be like that. We're in a new normal now, that we're never going to get back to being like we were, like seeing somebody in the supermarket and giving them a hug and a kiss or whatever else. That's just depressing in itself.
I know it's reckless to say, but you know, I'll eventually cuddle people and take the risk. Eventually, not just now, obviously, pandemic and that out the way. But I'm not living my life without going, do you want to fucking give yourself a wee wash before I cuddle you? I'm a cuddler, and if I die cuddling, that's what I'll do. Do you know what I mean? So
have it on your grave,
I'm not doing it. I mean, at school they used to say, don't swing in your chair, then you'll hit your head. And I hit my head 10 times, but I still swung in my chair. Do you know what I mean? So things like that, I just don't conform very well. That's why I've never really been able to have a proper structured job with a boss. I have just now where I work, but they know me and they know I'm a hard worker. And I'm not saying that I get to rule the roost, because that's far from it. They know I put my head down. They know if they're constantly on my back, I'll just be like, do you know what? I'm out of here. I can't deal with it. It's the same when I get clients that come into my work, and it's like, I don't care how much they're paying. Don't speak to me like that.
Yeah.
So it's the same.
I've always been seen as like, I wouldn't call it the troublemaker at work, but maybe my bosses would. But all throughout, like, I worked in retail management for like 20 odd years. The amount of disciplinaries I used to get just for stupid shit. And then it got to the point where I was like, hang on a minute. Sometimes it's not my fault. So I started researching a lot of employment law, etc. And I thought, next time I do something silly, I'm just gonna. I got sick of the big companies, just going for the little people.
Yes.
Because it's a case of you have this big company, they say something, and you're like, oh my god, I'm really sorry, and they're like, oh, I think you better leave, and you're like, okay, sorry. So I worked for JD Sports. Well, no, I didn't work for JD Sports. I worked for a clothing company called Bank. I think you might have had one up in Glasgow. Bank Fashion. Yeah, a few years ago. It's gone bust now. But we were taken over by JD Sports. So up until that point, Bank Fashion was a beautiful company to work for. The people were lovely. JD Sports took it over. They were fucking vile, right? Absolutely vile. And I was one of the main managers of one of the top earning stores, and we had a meeting at head office. And I got into it with one of the security guys. I was saying something like, oh, I need more security tags for my store. And he's like, where's your store? And he went, oh, you're not on our list. You know, you can fuck off. And I was like, I think you'll find we're the highest turnover store. So can I have more security tags? So we went out for lunch, and he said, oh, Cerys, can I just have a chat with you a sec? I said, oh, yeah, sure. So all the other managers went off for lunch. I got pulled into this room. There's another bloke in there, and they literally interrogated me for about 2 hours. My area manager had no idea where I was, because this store had no windows in, and I was literally being bullied by these two men. They reduced me to tears, going, who are you? Why did you chat up? You know, who do you think you are? We're all ex-coppers. What's your story? And I'm like, what the fuck? I asked for some more security. Anyway, come out. My area manager's like, where the fuck have you been? I was like, mate, I'm out of here, because that shouldn't have just happened. Why was I allowed in that room? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So shit massively at the fan. So next thing, I'm back at work. They're doing surprise security visits literally every other day. So they're coming from Manchester to do a store visit to try and catch me out in some way. I'll go around about the houses. They got me into a disciplinary, and I turned up my disciplinary. I must have had about 150 pages of points that they'd done wrong, and all hell broke loose. They had to fire some of the people. They tried to caution people under like police law, etc. And they were bullying all my staff. And I walked away with a payout, which I spent on a Peugeot Coupe Cabriolet soft up.
Yeah.
So since then, I'm like, if anything is anybody having any trouble or anything like that, I'm like, I know the law. You're not fucking walking over us anymore, because you're a big company and we're little people. I'm not standing for it. So with things have turned. Oh, my landlord I had a disagreement with, and I pushed and pushed and pushed. He ended up having to pay me £2,500 to leave the house. And that was
my sister will be actually watching this thinking, Cerys, you're just speaking Dee there. Do you know what I mean? I actually remember I was working towards a SRA, it was called, our team leader, right? And I was working towards it, and it was a predominantly male pool, and it was very full of bullying and sexual innuendos. It was terrible, right? The back office was really, really bad. The bullying was terrible. And actually I was up for training to become a team leader the same. And a lot of the guys didn't want that because I wasn't cool. I worked my arse off and I wasn't interested in cliques and I didn't get involved in one boy in particular. We actually had a additional supports needs group, and he used to sit there and go, oh, are they cakes nice and moist because they came from the additional supports needs. It was vile, and these people all validate, and he bullied me. He bullied me so much that I actually used to cry in the mornings that I knew that I had staff swimming, because I used to get in the water and jump in or try and slide in, and because I was bigger than the rest of them, but I could do my time swims and everything, he would that's the water went out and made my life. And then this one time I was arguing, and I actually got up in the high chair, and I was bigger and I was getting bigger because of the shit in the work. And I went up in the high chair and I was arguing and actually broke the high chair. Do you know, I actually had a failed suicide attempt at the time because of how bad it was. And then I remember the team leader made up this bullshit story because he was a wee cliquey guy, he was a wee fat dumpy guy, right? And he was in with the boys, but it was horrible. If he didn't do his thing. And anyway, he actually lied and made up this story and caused a fight with me, with one of the staff. And it basically made it look like I wasn't level-headed enough in order to get to the next step. But he engineered it. And then this wee creepy guy, you know what I mean, this wee creepy oddity guy actually poured water over me, but made it look like he was doing it down to, because we had to clean the changing rooms at the end of the night, but he poured it right down over me. And I went to the boss, and he'd had form, and he'd done it to other people, and they were just like, you know, somebody needs to see it. And that wee girl that was with him, because she was so under the spell, didn't want to be the next target, said she didn't see anything. But I was liberated because the first sketch I made up was about them. And they know it was. I never ever said their names or anything like that. But the first ever sketch that I made up on a 5-minute set was about them. And it's where it's took me to where I am now. So this fat lifeguard's fucking making more money than you. So fuck you. Yeah.
Well, this is it. This is it, though, isn't it? This is the thing. I got a tattoo there. Success is the best revenge. Yes. And it is. Going back to that, how you said it. Now, the situation we're in and the job we're in, let's not get it twisted. We get a lot of sexual harassment, sexual abuse, sexual harassment, sexual touching. I used to do this gig in Bristol in one of the cricket clubs or rugby clubs, and there was an old guy there. So I was the MC, and there was 3 other comedians there, and there was an old guy that worked for the, you know, high up in the cricket club or whatever. Just would not leave me alone. And the amount of times I looked at the male comedians as if to say, you can see this shouldn't be happening, come and fucking help me out. And then I realized, I'm on my own with this. Okay, cool. So every time I had to do the gig, I just had to avoid this guy. He'd be one side of the room, I'd walk round the back to get to the other side of the room, he'd come around, but you know, and I'd just go out of my way to avoid him. Got to the point where I was like, you can see that's happening, why are you not helping me? Oh, because it looked like you're coping with it on your own. Well, yeah, because I have to. And the amount of times people touch me at a live comedy gig, you know, I touched your boob, never mind. Oh, I'm going to give you a really weird, like really horrible hug and stuff like that. And because of the job we do, we just have to we have to suck it up and put up with it, because go on.
No. Never. No, I think because I come from a scheme, and I come from quite a hard scheme, and I think because I've battled boys and I've fought with boys all my life. Now I'm talking about, I've squared up to not that they wouldn't kick my head in or shoot me or do away with me, but I've squared up to gangsters because I was brought up to not fear anybody. And that's why people in the circuit and everything else fucking hated me, because it didn't matter what they threw at me. They'd nothing. I've been standing with 6 masked men with baseball bats and other 2 cars on their way. I know that no man with a wee wandering hand, and I would have probably stuck the nut in every single comedian that stood back and watched that happen to you, then stuck the nut in the guy that would have, and then showed you how to do a Glasgow kiss the next time it ever happened. So I get it online. I do get it online. I have loads of comedy friends, females, exactly the same that I've done that. But I've been the person that's walked out a party with no friends because I will call out somebody for what they've done. I'm not designed that way. That's why I cut my nose off to spite my face. Some of the male comedy friends that I've got in the Scottish circuits go, aye, but Dee, but you could have used this. I'm not using no circuit. If they're going to treat me like that, I'll punch them square in the face. So no, I would have battled them.
I like that. I like what you're saying. Is refreshing.
And it doesn't mean I expect anybody else to be like Kerry. Sorry for jumping in, because I'm not saying that doesn't make you an empowerment. It's just the way I am. It's not something I try to do. I'm such a short fuse. See, because my fans know we're going dark again. I was sexually abused, so no person will touch my fucking zone unless I invite them. And if they don't be invited, they better watch what's coming, because they think I'm handling it. I probably am, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to batter you, your friends, and set your bed on fire.
Yeah, see, that's the difference. Like work environment, I'm like, I'm okay. I've got to secure my job. I can't kick off. I was also sexually abused when I was younger, which is probably why we've clicked so well. And it took me years to get over that, and then go from one abusive relationship to another, until I think it got to the point where I was like, I'm not having it anymore. I'm not. I'd rather be on my own for the rest of my life. If somebody does that to me, raises their hand, I will go. Thanks, Christine.
That's what support the Kerris. You can go and kick their cunts in, and we'll be right behind you.
Exactly. So it's things like that, in it. It's like what you've grown up with, and then, like I said, now in relationship wise, if somebody said anything to me or raised their hand to me, I'm like, nah, get to fuck. But in the workplace, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just carry on, because I haven't really got there's no infrastructure for me to complain to about this. And then if I do complain, I'll be accused of not being able to deal with the male banter, the comedy club vibe, etc. So you basically just suck it up.
No, I sucked it out and I spitted venom, and I brought every one of them to their fucking knees. I came, I saw, and I conquered, and I kicked its cunt in. So that's but you know what? It's the same. Loads of girls, especially girls that have been in the industry for a long, long time. It's just they call us woke and they call us whatever else, but it's not. We've just grew up with what my mum put up with. She made sure that I wouldn't put up with. Do you know what I mean? So it's the descendant, and plus I come from quite a hard family, and my mum was one of the people that would have put me back outside and battered me if I'd shamed the family by letting somebody kick my head in. I don't care if he's 18 and you're 8. Do you know? So that's the kind of standard, and I was always. That's why it annoyed me. Someone called me a bully, right? And it was just a retaliation. I think they called me because they knew it's something I've never ever been, and I did. But now I just laugh, because I think, that's because that's not what I am. And you rise and shine, and I did do it the hard way. I've had to row my boat really hard, but you know what? I've not got any wankers in my boat. You know what I mean? So
that's it. Well, that's the one good thing with me, look. I hope I brought Callum up to not treat women how he's seen me be treated, if you know what I mean. And he has seen it, and that's why we left his dad, and we relationships haven't gone as far as they can. And he's a lovely young man, and like I said, if that's the one thing I've done, then I've fucking done well. On the back of a hard family, I didn't. Yeah, exactly. My dad was quite when we all used to turn up to family events and stuff, people would be like, oh, there's big Frank, there's Frank, and he'd wear like a long jacket, and he looked like the West Country Mafia, and he would disappear. He would not for days or anything. He'd be like, oh, just going down and see me mate Colin, we've got something to sort out. And it wasn't for years later that it was his mate Colin was like a builder, so he'd be owed money. My dad, this other bloke called Knuckles, and this other bloke called Scarface, and Colin would go down to whoever owed the money with baseball bats. And I was like, Dad, I didn't know you were like this. And he's like, I'll tell you right now, Kerris, if you ever get any shit from anybody, you just let me know and I'll fucking go and sort it out. And I only wish he was kind of still here.
One of the best Glasgow enforcers, that's what they're called, Kerris, people that go and collect money are enforcers, right?
Yeah.
One of the best Glasgow enforcers was female. You know what I mean? So it's that's how I was brought up. I'm not saying I teach my kids now kind hands. I teach my kids to try and sort out things with their mouth rather than their fist, because I was the type of person that couldn't take confrontation. So as soon as someone get in my zone and said too much, I would stutter. So they would then get annoyed at me stuttering and make fun of me, and I would batter them anyway. So I used to just skip to the kicking because it was easier. I just thought they're going to take the piss anyway, so I'll just skip to kicking the cunt and then we're done. I honestly, my sister will be sitting there going, "Aye, bloody right." I remember me and my sister used to get that heated in arguments that she was actually foaming at the mouth while my cousin was holding her back and I was egging her on. We were conditioned in the real Scottish way, you know, fight and move cars and kick trees, you know, and it's not done me any favours because it's only now that women are getting a voice and they're getting not to do that. I went through loads of jobs and I just wouldn't conform. Oh, you could get to here if you did this. Well, I'll just stay where I am. I've just can't. Proud of you two ladies for talking tonight. You'll help a lot of other women listening. You love what you say, kick their cunts in. But see, that's what I'm doing as well, Kerry. We both came on before it. I was jaded and I thought, let's not pretend. Let's just be what it's meant to be and be real. But Kerry and me both will end the show on a nice note. Kerry and me both cut our son's hair. My son's now auditioning for This Is England and he actually cost me £54 to cut his hair. I could have taken up to a Turkish barber and been less. £54 for him to look like the wee guy out of This Is England. That's what it cost me. How was your experience, darling?
Well, what did you do? Was it a grade 3 or grade 2? What was it?
Two all over. And the 54, I started at £100 and I'm like, come on, mate. You know, you've got this bit out of it. He actually cut a bit in his hair there and he wouldn't tell us. He said, I don't know what's happened. It's just happened. And I went, your hair just doesn't happen like that. I have to take you to the doctor if a big patch of your hair is just fell out. But he's not right. I said, you're not going to get into trouble. Hi, Rebecca. You're not going to get into trouble. But you need to tell the truth. Did you use mum's razor? And they went, yeah, I did it a couple of times. So it looked horrific. It just looked as if he'd had ringworm or something like that and he'd this patch out. So yeah, I got him haggled down to 60, right? And I said 50. Ridiculous. And my daughter at nearly 12 and she's like 55. You know, and he settled on 55, but then she was raging that he wouldn't give her any of the 55 because she said, well, I helped you negotiate. And he said, it doesn't matter. It's still my prize. You're not getting any. So then I had to give her 20 quid. So £74 to shave a boy's head to look like this.
No, you've been done, mate. By the way, can you shave mine next week? It'll cost you 100 quid. I did my son's 22. He's at work at the moment and his fringe is kind of quite in his face. So I was like, we need to do something about it. So I got the clippers out from me. My brother lent me the clippers and I destroyed a 22-year-old's life. And basically, like I said, it didn't cost me any money and he didn't speak to me for quite a few hours. So it was win-win. At one point, I took I did grade 3 because I was like, I don't want to do it too much. Grade 3 at the back and then just got a bit off the front. Have you ever tried to cut hair with scissors? Don't. It's got his fringe and I'm like, I've seen this. They do that through the fingers and then the fringe was like this. So I had to clipper it again. And then I took the guard off for the grade 3 thingy off and went up the back and realised that I then had to do all the back. So basically he's got no hair at the
nothing with no guard all the way up the back.
No hair at the sides or the back. So then me and mum have had to spend the next however many hours pretending it was good because he had to go to work. So he came home from work last night, face like thunder, and I'm like, what's the matter? And he's like, what the fuck have you done to my hair? And I'm like, it's an accident. But you know what? I saved us some money. It needed to be done. What's the worst that can happen? Hair grows back. It's fine.
The thing is, he was actually saying This Is England, and he's actually, my wee boy's slightly Asperger's, right? Just on, you can't be slightly, but just on the spectrum and no more. And he's outside because I said he was This Is England, so he must have been looking up This Is England on the internet, right? And I've been able to put something in the bin, and he's got his Adidas tracksuit on, he's got the zip right down, and he's standing at my fence going like that. No, but there's this man walking by that always speaks to me, and I'm always, oh, hello, Mr. How are you doing, Mr. Fleming? Oh, I know it's terrible. I hope we're out soon. Blah blah blah. And he's like, okay. I'm like, yes, man.
This is the thing. So Cal, when he was younger, when he was about 5 or 6, he used to have pretty much a grade 1 or 2 all over. And he had I don't know whether I said this story before. He had a kidney infection. We ended up in hospital on Christmas Day. Of course, we're wheeling down the corridor in a wheelchair with all his head shaved off. People are like, oh, has he got leukemia? Is he really ill? And I'm like, well, not really. And they're like, there's a gifting suite down there for all this really sick. Where's the gifting suite? Let's go to the gifting suite.
Yeah, he's got whatever he has.
Yeah, so that was my story.
Guys, it was lovely to give me your feedback in the inbox, how you like the show, a wee bit of honesty, a wee bit of exposure for both of us. Do you know what I mean? We might never work again after all those revelations, but do you know what? We'll still have each other. But anyway, I've been Dee Maxwell. This has been...
Cerys Nelmes.